After an embarrassing loss at Madison Square Garden yesterday, the Knicks and Ish crew, we drank our sorrows away. So did the Knicks, apparently, because then they took their asses down the New Jersey Turnpike, across the Ben Franklin, over to what do they call that place now? The Xfinity Wireless One Arena now. They keep changing the names of the place, but that building, the building in South Philadelphia, and put not one, not two, but many, many, many belts to across a number of asses. I'm sorry, Philadelphia, you didn't get free chicken when you were doing Hackimich. The New York Knicks bounced back with a dominant performance, destroying the Philadelphia 76ers as they entered the NBA All-Star break. I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Ave. I'm joined by the crew and our special guest from the Bleed Blue Show, my brother, Mr. Steve Azul. This is Knicks and Ish. It's time to talk Ish. So if you please, somebody say the words.
Hit that intro.
Boom shakalaka! The Knicks are grit. These kids and our party ain't just lit. Bet it's the littest. You know we lit. You know we lit. You know we lit. You know we lit. Turn up, no we lit. Turn up. You know we lit. Let's go deep time. You know we lit. Mr. Nixon. You know we lit. Kev, what up? You know we lit fresh, that's the Pearl A Lord. You know we lit Knickerbocker, have a talk to. Let's go! We lit.
You already know what time it is. It's time to talk that Knicks and Ish. I'm your boy, as I stated, the Knickerbocker Ave, the infamous one himself. I'm joined live from South Philadelphia, the first lady of Knicks and Ish, Mrs. Knicks.
Yo.
I'm also joined by our beloved co-host, the machine gun himself, Mr. Rodriguez Yakisabe. And ladies and gentlemen, special guest today, Mr. Steve Azul from the Bleed Blue Show. If you don't know about this man yet, you missing out. This man is the most knowledgeable man in sports, all sports, because that's all he does is watch a ton of sports. He schools me on the college basketball tip. How you doing, Steve?
Coming off the bench on Knicks and Ish, man. I'm ready to get it pop. Coming off the bench. Coming off the bench.
So you already know what time it is. Press like, comment, and subscribe for your favorite panel. Sharing is always caring. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Take the link of the show from YouTube, copy it onto your link, share it on all social platforms. It is greatly appreciated. Letting you also know the super chat is open, welcome, and is always appreciated to all our beloved fans. And be sure, if you haven't done so already, hit up the Knicks and Ish Shopify. Cop yourself some merch. Me and Tea Time, we're going to sit down. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to come up with some new styles, some new designs, just in time for the second half. But let's get into it with a little housekeeping. You already know the beloved sis from the Miss Darlene Bryant. How you doing? D. Dot. How you doing, my brother? BDP is in the building. And I see you, Matthew. I see you. The reason you heard crickets last night is because we were drinking our sorrow away at where were we? Mustang Harry's, and then the crew wanted to see if any of the players would show up. They did not want to come out. They didn't want to see us. But according to Kev, TJ McConnell did, which is kind of cool. He buried us, and then he signed some autographs. Really nice.
Yeah, that was kind of dope, man. I actually made me become more of a fan of his by him doing that. That was kind of dope.
Tons of respect for him. I do have a ton of respect for him. He's a pesky little bastard, but
yeah, he sure is.
But let's get into it. The New York Knicks, exactly what banner says. Hashtag belt to ass on the Philadelphia 76ers. A final score of 138 to 89. That is insane. Especially when you think about the loss that we suffered yesterday at the hands of the Indiana Pacers, 137 to 134 in overtime, a game that shouldn't have even been that close, but it is what it is. But tonight, look who led all scores. Jose, Mr. Wepa himself. Jose Alvarado, 26 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and of course 5 steals. That's what he does. That's what he's here for. Mikhail chipped in with 22, flirting a little bit with a triple-double. Big Cat, big game from him, 21 points, 11 boards, even some 5 assists. He had a couple of nice passes in that game. I really did enjoy that. The captain did not have didn't really have it tonight. 3 for 6 shooting on 8 points, 4 assists, 4 boards. Neither did his roommate, but his roommate was damn near flirting with another triple-double after he had one last night in a losing effort. What does T-Time call him? Mo Betta Mochetta? Is that what he's calling him now?
Yep. That's it. Yep.
14 points off the bench. And of course, Mitchell Robinson with his typical. He's getting better with his free throws. At least I can say that. The hacking shit is not working. But initial reactions, Kev, starting off with you. Initial reactions to tonight's game.
I mean, I would have to say way better than last night. That disastrous of a game yesterday, I would say, because that game last night was a game that I thought we should have won. Eyes closed. The defense failed us. Our perimeter defense failed us. And we kind of got let down yesterday, but this was a good comeback win for the Knicks. Shout out to Jose. My guy had a great game off the bench. Shout out to Mikal Bridges also for I think he had like 14 in the first quarter. As a team, 24 assists in the first half. I thought that was impressive. And the defense they played was much better than the last game. So, even with JB having an off night, other guys were able to step up and help carry us to a victory. So I thought that was important.
Absolutely. Steve, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed you guys weren't on last night because I was looking forward to the playback this morning. I'm like, I'm all up in the Knicks in this channel. Like, where's the postgame versus the Pacers? I'm looking for this shit. So I guess there was a reason for the madness. So yeah, great bounce back win, a dominant win. And what's really telling about this win with the numbers that Brunson had and Hart had, they didn't even need them tonight as far as productivity and usage. You got it everywhere else. The bench, Alvarado, of course. It's good to see Mitch back in the lineup, which could explain why Indiana hung around so much last night because Mitch didn't play last night. And Mitch, I appreciate Mitch more now since the trade with Randall being paired up with Karl Anthony Towns. Now you get to see I see more of the value with Mitch now with Cat running him with Cat than I did with Randall. So, yeah, but this is the crazy thing, Av, and I'll land my plane after this statement, and you can pass the mic however you want to do it. This up and down shit, we got to put a string of wins together. Great double overtime win versus the Nuggets. Go to Detroit on Friday, get crushed. You guys talked about that. Went to Boston and crushed them, which I loved it on Super Bowl Sunday, of course, against them, and of course the Patriots also. I love that 2 Boston teams caught 2 big L's on Super Bowl Sunday, and you guys talked about it because I was in the chat with you guys when you guys talked about it after the game. And then how the fuck happened last night against Indiana? But all that kind of temporary makes up because of Indiana beating us last night, but crushing Philadelphia like this? I mean, it wasn't even close. I love it, but I'm still on the edge because it's like night to night. You don't know what you're gonna get with the Knicks, and I'll land there. There's so much to unpack.
That is something we are going to discuss a little bit later on in the show. The Knicks inconsistencies, this Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. That's something you used to coin a lot. It's like one night that the Knicks are going to come in and they're going to destroy their opponent, and the next night, depending on who the opponent is, they mail it in tremendously. But let's go to Mrs. Knicks, who's in. What are they calling it now? The Xfinity Wireless Arena now? I forget. This is like
yeah. Yep.
So
I would say / MSG.
MSG Philly.
MSG Philly, right.
Facts.
Anything from New York to Miami is MSG at this point.
Almost.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
You would think that, especially the way how well Knicks fans do travel. You got to love them. They're always in. They're always in Atlanta. They're always in Charlotte. They're always in DC. They're always in Philly. But Mrs. Knicks, how are you feeling being in the arena as the Knicks destroyed them by 49?
Man, I think I'm getting hoarse. I was screaming so loud. It was a great game. I mean, I'm surprised no one has said that we were about to ass the way we were supposed to. Absolutely the way we were supposed to. I mean, Macau in the first quarter was unstoppable. They didn't have an answer for him. He was cutting to the basket, and that was, again, no one can stop him. And then Jose, I mean, this is what we traded for. And, the show, from when we traded for him, I said it was a Josh Hart type trade. And thus far, he's been everything that had wanted. Today was amazing, just seeing Philly fans so upset. it was great to see in person. You know what I mean? Seeing stupid Joel Embiid's face on the bench, watching his team get their ass whipped was great to watch. Now I'm super excited. Like you said, last night was some bullshit. The Knicks should have won that game. I guess we keep saying you can't win them all, but definitely shouldn't have lost to that whack ass team. But this was a great way to come back. Playing a back-to-back overtime in the first game and having to travel that night and play, this could have easily been a two-game losing streak.
Yeah, and that would have been a bad look on everybody's list. I mean, let's just talk about it. The Knicks last night, 137 to 134. You have Pascal Siakam hitting 30, getting 30. But Brunson matched him, actually exceeded him. He had 40. You had Josh Hart with a triple-double. The game shouldn't have been as close as they did, but for whatever reason, opponents just, they circle the calendar. They know they're going to Madison Square Garden. They circle the calendar. They know they're playing the Knicks, and they play their best game. It's like, we're gonna be on MSG Network. We're gonna be like, yep, we're gonna show out, and they did. They came in. They fought tooth and nail. Most lead changes in the NBA this season, I think it was a total of 38 or 39 lead changes, and thankfully, Cat was able to hit those free throws to force overtime, but in overtime, completely poo-pooed the bed. Coming into tonight's game, no Joel Embiid because he's another Mr. Street Clothes, consistently. You look at what Philadelphia was able to do. Tyrese Maxey basically wasted 32 points. VJ Edgecombe didn't really have it tonight, offensively. And I still say that's probably the best backcourt in the NBA, hands down, or at least the quickest. I would love to hear an argument against it. On top of that, but their bench was dismantled, destroyed, embarrassed. Just look at this statistic: 72 to 22 bench scoring. When have you ever seen that? That's almost unheard of. The Knicks, as a team, shot 53% from the field, 45 from downtown. I'm still not liking this 43s a night doctrine that but if it works and it leads to a victory, I guess I'll keep my mouth shut. But here's your stat, Mrs. Knicks, your favorite stat: 40,
39,
41,
40,
41 assists, 41 assists, and so that's how you get it done. The fact that
it was 41 to what? Like it was like 12 or 13 they had?
16.
Oh, okay.
Yo, Av, another thing that points over turnovers, 32 points over 18 turnovers. I think that was a big, huge difference in the game as well.
It's a huge one, because if you look back at all the other games that we've had, even if we win the turnover battle, the points off turnover battle, the Knicks would be on the short end of the stick. And tonight they took care of that. They made them pay for every single one of those turnovers, and they reduced their number 15 for 15. But overall, I mean, we really got to discuss what is going on with this team. If this team is really considering making a run for the Larry O'Brien, which is, what we've been saying all season. This is the season of destiny. Hey, Amber, how you doing? What's going on? Wilton Oliver, what's good, brother?
Let me mention this also. So when you said like Philly has the best backcourt, talent-wise, yes. However, they're able to be stopped. Both of them together can't control the pace of a game. Both wins we have against them, we controlled the pace. So they're able to be slowed down. And when they're slowed down, they're a very beatable team. It's when you can't slow them down or don't slow them down that they run you out the park. But as we saw tonight and the last game we played them, we were able to slow them down and we came out with a victory both nights.
True. But I think that in Philly's defense, when they're fully healthy, and that's Joel Embiid, Paul George, and those two guys in the backcourt, I think that and given VJ Edgecombe is still a rookie, so it's not like he's a seasoned pro yet. I think that after this season he should do some great maturation. And Steve, you can chime in at any point here. But I think that they are definitely the more promising, if not the best backcourt in the NBA. Anna does make a great point, saying that they haven't learned how to control it and dictate the pace of the game. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Philadelphia still has, and until they do something with their roster, they're going to have that problem, because you don't know what lineup you're going to get on any given night.
Well, to answer your question, I'm gonna put them at number 3, the Sixers. I got two other teams that I would take over them. I'm surprised you ain't said one of them with this trade deadline. How do you not put Donovan Mitchell, and Harden over the Sixers? Absolutely, I would take them over in the playoffs. Absolutely, I would take them over the Sixers backcourt. Absolutely, those are two closers. Absolutely.
I'm sorry,
James.
If it's a game 6 or a game 7, both of them are mailing it in.
Yeah, but the question was the question you said with that's backcourt. I'm telling you, I would take those two over Edgecombe and Maxey, and I might even go De'Aaron Fox and Stephen Castle. That's how legit they are.
All right, that one I'll give you.
That one, yeah, I'll give you that.
I'll give you that one.
But James Harden is one of those guys that, and there's a lot of history of him not showing up when it matters most. Donovan Mitchell, I mean, he gives it everything, but I don't know about James Harden, bro.
But
it's still questionable. It's still questionable.
But the question Ab proposed was the best backcourt. It's not about his ability per se. I'll put it like this: Harden doesn't have to be the number 1 at this point. He's probably number 3 or 4 on that team at this point. But he has the capabilities to get you an 18 to 20 anyway. He's been doing it since he got there.
Well, yeah.
But Donovan Mitchell's still 1A. He is Batman. Like we used to always say, like Harden at this point is probably Alfred. He may not even be a Rob. You still got a legit front court. You still got good guys coming off the bench. So that's a very capable backcourt to get at least through the second round. Absolutely.
Well, depending on
that's an upgrade over Garland, man. How do you not see that?
I don't consider him to be an upgrade over Garland because of his defense. I think Garland's is a much better defender, and I think that Garland's a more consistent player. He's more all around as well because he can rebound at times when you need him to. He will defend. He will do assist. Look, James Harden, without a doubt, he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot. No questions asked. He can light up, fill a stat sheet perfectly. The only issue that I have with him is that consistency over an 82-game season is one thing, but you have to be able to show up for the big one. And both him and Donovan Mitchell have now shown a propensity to not show up for the big one.
But that's a different. But that's a different question. What you're saying? You said best back.
True, and you can argue
you're framing the question. If you're framing the question best backcourt, I'm going to say the Cleveland dudes. I'm going to take over the Philly dudes over longevity, proven ability. And if you're talking about upside and future and all that, I'll go Sixers. But I'm with you as far as playoff performances in Donovan Mitchell and Harden. That's they have to prove that. But if you're telling me if I had to pick just a straight up duo, I would probably go those two over the Cleveland dudes. I mean, over the Philly dudes or the San Antonio dudes.
I'd go with the San Antonio dudes over both of these guys. To be honest with you,
I
thought when you brought that up, I'm like, yeah, because those guys are tough, man. They are giving OKC a run for their money. They giving them a run for their money. They're giving.
God, they're beating OKC like they stole something. They beat them every chance they get. It doesn't matter if it's in Vegas. It doesn't matter if it's the First Cup. It doesn't matter if it's in OKC or San Antonio. They don't even fear to these dudes. They giving it to them.
Nah, you absolutely right. You absolutely right. But as far as Harden and Donovan Mitchell, they got to show me something.
Well, I mean, I get that part, but that's a whole different comment. That's a different question of the way you frame it. But yeah, I'll end there.
All right. Well, back into this, the Knicks consistencies. What are you guys seeing in the games that we won versus the games that we lost? Obviously, scores is the first thing you notice, and then of course the shooting percentages. But is there anything on the floor that you're seeing that is kind of like a huge red flag? And anybody in the chat, please feel free to chime in. Comments are always welcome. Super chats are always welcome, and they're open. Please feel free. But are you seeing anything on the floor that's causing for a red flag? Kev?
I would say every time you hear any of these guys talk about it, I think it's the lack of communication on the floor. I mean, that's the biggest thing that they always talk about. So that could be one of them, and inconsistencies at defending the 3-point line. I think we give up way too many open 3-point shots, way too many. In that Cleveland game, we was giving up a lot of open 3-point shots to the point where some of these guys was just shooting them comfortably. You know what I mean? So I think those are the real big inconsistencies, and transition defense has been really bad as well. They got to do a better job at getting back and getting stops. I think those have been the huge inconsistencies.
Mm-hmm.
Dave?
Definitely defending the three. That's a huge issue.
Right.
Sometimes you're watching this shit on defense, and you got to pray that they don't make it, the opposing team, because the closeout threes against the opponent is bad, man. Sometimes you just got to be lucky and hopefully they miss. So I'm with Kevin on that. That's the main thing I see. And then also Mitch, like I said it in the previous time when I just said it, like having Mitch is a big deal because he's kind of like more of a monster than he's ever been. He looks it feels like he's gotten out of this project stage and he's just being a rebounding machine. So with that, he's being really aggressive with the offensive rebound. And of course, he changes shots. I mean, he's defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding, or whatever, and just changes shots, block shots. We got to have Mitch, man. He's got to be available for us to, if we're talking about championship, he has to be there because Indiana obviously was just going to the hole as well. It was Nimhard, kickouts, for open shots for Siakam. It was disgusting to watch last night. But then I realized, damn, Mitch is not in the lineup. That kind of helps Indiana get in the paint and do whatever they wanted to us.
Right. I agree, man. Mitch was a big. I think Mitch and OG, not having OG out there kind of hurt us too, bro. Because I feel like before OG got hurt, he was playing like a man on a mission. So I feel like we kind of missed that. But you're absolutely right. I feel like Mitch, as of late, has been playing out of his mind, rebounding the ball, not just defensively, offensive rebounding has been real big too. I think he's averaging like 5 or 6 offensive, or maybe more, offensive rebounds a game. So I mean, yeah.
The biggest thing that I've noticed is everything that you guys touched on. It shows like there's like an inconsistent level of communication in terms of when they're playing the switch, and then they're switching into the zone, and they're just not putting forth the effort against these quality opponents, and sometimes I start to wonder, is like, are they just not playing those games? They're because you would think that with Detroit embarrassing you the first time, beating you by 32, that you would come back going into their building and not lose by 38, not lose worse than you did the last time, but they did. And then in the game against the Indiana Pacers, you would think that even though it's not the same Pacer team, this is the team that eliminated you from the Eastern Conference Finals last season. You still want to make a statement. You still kind of want to let them like rub it in their nose that we still remember it. It still hurts, and it's gonna be indoctrinated into our heads. But in neither case that happened. And then if you look, just how this schedule has been played out. I mean, we lose to Indiana last night. We beat Boston. We lose to Detroit badly. We beat Denver, and then we had that 8-game win streak. But then look at the teams that we did lose before that: Dallas, Phoenix, Golden State, Sacramento. We won at Portland. Then we lost at Phoenix again. We beat the Clippers, but then it's the teams that have some, have an axe to grind. They're coming to grind those axes, and they're ready to, like, put a hurting on us on any given night. The fact is, the Knicks are not answering that call in terms of effort and efficiency in any kind of capacity, offensively or defensively. And it's kind of annoying because, okay, maybe you don't win the game, but at least play the fucking game. At least give us some effort. At least not embarrass us. But then again, I did hear a theory. It's like, you know what? He said, Brown saving for the playoffs. And if you pay attention to how the Knicks are playing these days, they're playing a lot more cuts to the basket. You're starting to see them, open up the lane a whole lot more because how is it that Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby get open on on just a quick, pick and roll, some pick and roll action. You're starting to see Cat being utilized a little bit like a decoy. I mean, I prefer if he was more of a decoy down in the paint as opposed to him on the top of the key. But if it works, it works. So who am I to judge? So I think there was a question that you posed to me, Steve, on the Knickerbocker Avenue fan forum. And I think it would behoove you to ask that question again. And see if we can get Kev's thoughts.
Sure. Do you fear Detroit, Kev?
Well, Steve, I think I was the only one on this panel, if I'm correct, in the beginning of the season when asked that question, because this is something that we spoke about. I don't know if you remember that, Av.
Yeah.
And Detroit was the team that I mentioned. Detroit was the team that I mentioned, and because of the simple fact of how they played it and how well they played us in the playoffs last year. So I already knew they were coming into this season with us on their mind. You know what I mean? And they, they're a tough team to beat. They're young. They're a good young team, and they're hungry. Um, they play really good, solid defense, and what's his name? I always forget his name. Damn, what's that star? Their best
Jay
player.
Cunningham?
Kate
Okay,
Cunningham is yo, bro. That he's a fucking beast, man. He's a beast, and if he's one of those guys that I'm always worried about when we play them. But these last two games, man, were big statement wins for them. So, let's see what happens. But yeah, Detroit is a huge concern for me.
Right.
I'm going to repeat the same statement that I made on the forum, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not worried about them. On the eye test, obviously, you look at the two performances the Knicks have had against the Detroit Pistons. In both games, the Knicks lost, handedly by over 30. But what I have noticed about the Detroit Pistons is that they want to continuously call them the bad boy Pistons 3.0, ultra athletic and super aggressive and physical team. I find them to be a bunch of hacks. They foul a lot, and they foul. They're one of the highest fouling teams in the NBA. And I think that in the playoffs, that's going to come back and bite them. I want to see them do that in a 7-game series, and I don't think they can. I don't think that they can do that against the same opponent, maybe in the first round, because if things stand where they stand today, they are going to be the number 1 seed. That means that they will play whoever comes out of the play-in. They're going to probably be exhausted. They're going to be undermanned, and of course, they're going to be outmatched. So they'll get through that first round. Then they got to play the second round. Second round is going to be the 4 or 5 seed. If I'm not looking at the standings right now, but the 4 or 5 seed will probably be either Toronto or Orlando. And although I think that they'll probably walk all over them, they have to get through them. And
they will.
They probably will.
Against who? Against who?
Against either Toronto or Orlando.
I think they will. I think Detroit is washing both of those teams up if they meet them in the play. Washing them up.
5 games.
Listen. I mean, Av, to be honest with you, man, they match our physicality. Even in the playoffs last year, they matched our physicality.
All right. All right, but would you take them over the Cavs now?
I would definitely take them over the Cavs. I would definitely take them over the Cavs. I feel like, and I honestly think that they will wash the Cavs up as well. You know what I mean? I think Detroit will pack them up.
But before we get into April and May talk, Kev, I gotta say that the biggest game for the Knicks is the Thursday after the All-Star break when we play the Pistons again at home this time. Yeah. That's our biggest game of this year because I need to see better effort. Maybe they don't win the game. I don't even know what bodies are going to be back or available at the time. But as we said it, we have got to beat the Pistons because this is a carryover even from last year because we struggled against the Pistons last year in the regular season. I was with you, Av, when we watched that game. Yeah. They were even handling us. Even though we beat them in the playoffs, they gave us headaches last year in the regular season.
And to be honest with you, they're a way better defender team than we are, bro.
They are.
Them guys play defense. They don't play no game. No, listen, I completely agree. They do hack, but they do it in a way where they don't get caught. They do it in a way where they never get caught, bro, because they don't get the calls. So a lot of the times the Knicks got to play through that. This year, they've completely outplayed us in every step of the way, bro. Out physically, mentally. I mean, you name it, they did it.
Even the season last year, they outplayed us in the regular season.
They
And then
did.
a lot of the playoff games was close. But let me say this one more thing, Av and Kevin, about the Pistons. The physicality. I would think Knicks fans would appreciate Pistons because the Pistons, when they were on their heyday, they were always a physical team. The Bad Boys 1 teams in the 80s,
Yep.
even the Bad Boys 2 teams with Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, and all those guys. Yeah, I think we have to win this game
I
because I
agree.
think even they're not going to even have Stewart or Jalen Duren because they'll still be on suspension. They went to
Right.
Toronto tonight and wiped the floor with the Raptors tonight without those dudes
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Without them, they smashed them.
They're definitely playing at a high level right now. That kid that they got from the G League, that with the dreads, what's his name?
You talking about Dennis Jenkins? You talking about Jenkins? Or you
Yeah,
talking about which one?
he
The
bust our
guard?
ass in that last game, bro. He
He's
washed us
good.
up.
They actually had some good pickups. They had Karis LeVert earlier in the year. They even got Herder from the Bulls. Like when the hell Herder get to the Bulls?
Yeah.
That's a nice little
I
bench
seen
they
that.
got, man.
I
They do.
seen that. I seen that. But Karis LeVert, I thought that was a huge pickup. I thought that was an upgrade over Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, their physicality, man. They got Stewart, Paul Reed is the third goon. He's backing up Duran and Isaiah Stewart. He's a serviceable four. He's a Knickerbocker Ave 90s power forward type guy. He likes
I
a
ain't
Paul
gonna
Reed type
I ain't gonna lie to you, right? Like the kid Isaiah Stewart, I actually appreciate that guy, man. Like, you know what? I would love that kind of energy on my team. Somebody try to yo, listen, I watched that fight the other day, right?
I watched
But
him
you
And
know,
then
live.
Kev,
I watched him
we got
live.
that on
I
our
was watching the
we got
game live.
we got
no,
that
He came
on
off
our
the bench.
team.
He didn't give a F. He ain't give a
no,
F.
listen. He you right. We do got that on our team, but I
You
mean
ain't see Alvarado ready to fight because
Yeah,
they
man,
fouled
Mitch. Yeah,
Mitch too
oh
hard.
yeah. I
I saw
saw
that.
that. That shit got me hyped. That shit got me hyped. Hell yeah. But the fact that people are killing Isaiah Stewart, that kid, because of what he did and how he ran off the bench. And to be honest with you, I fucking appreciate that, bro. Because at the end of the day, homie, yo, they try to jump his teammate, bro. Two guys. I can understand one-on-one. Okay, I'm letting that rock out. It's one-on-one. I'm just gonna try to stop the fight. But then another guy, then you got Miles Bridges come out of nowhere and try to snuff him. And then
Right.
no other teammate did anything. No other teammate tried to fight back for him. Nothing. Everybody was just standing around doing nothing. And the fact that Isaiah Stewart was, nigga, what? You trying to jump my man? And ran off the bench and went to go fight him. Yo, salute to him. I don't care what nobody say, bro.
And
If I was a fan before, I'm more of a fan now of that guy, bro.
got a
I
lot.
so appreciate that. That brings me back 90s basketball vibes, bro. That is some Detroit
He's got
Pistons
a
bad
lot of
boy
Oakley
shit,
in him.
bro.
He's got a lot of Oakley in him as
Yo,
far as toughness.
facts.
First of all, let's look where the fight started. The fight started on the bottom left corner of the Hornets court, right? The Pistons bench is on the diagonal opposite corner of the court. So
Right.
being in Isaiah Stewart, you can't leave the bench in today's NBA. He
Not
said,
since
"F all that.
1997,
I'm gonna
no.
come across." He said, "I'm gonna come across diagonally across the court
Yeah.
and throw hands and get fades." He was giving fades. He literally had to go on the opposite corner where the Pistons bench was, where the
Yeah.
fight started on the
That was
bottom left corner of the Hornets court. He went for the fade. How can you not
Yeah.
respect that?
I respect that, yo. I actually,
Yeah, but you also
yo,
have to think you're gonna cost your team a couple of games because he's not a scorer, but his impact on the game is huge. So
I mean, you're
you about
right.
nah,
to
it
be
definitely
suspended.
is.
You about to be suspended a whole lot,
Well,
and
he's lucky he got
Let me say this, Kevin.
7 games. He's lucky he got 7 game
I
suspension.
say yeah because I was hearing at first it was gonna be like 20.
25.
it should have
Yeah.
been more because first of all,
So
it's supposed to be a game of punch. He threw at least 4 punches, and he's supposed to get time for. You're not supposed to come off the bench.
Then Miles Bridges should have got like 14 games because he threw a punch at Jalen Duran and then he threw another punch at Isaiah Stewart.
yeah.
So
When we had anybody come off the bench and ran on the opposite corner like Isaiah Stewart did, or not?
I think we do. I
Nick,
think Jose Alvarado would do it.
I
I
think
think
You think
Alvarado.
Jose would
Alvarado?
do it.
Maybe,
Hell yeah!
maybe.
Like if I seen that fight where homie Mark Williams try to play him, he turned around and went to him, was like, "What you said, homie? What you said?" And I don't know how the scuffle started. The scuffle started. He turned around and threw that right hand uppercut to the jaw, and all I see is Jordan Poole in the background, like, whoa. I'm
Yeah,
like, that's the kind of energy that the Knicks need. And like Anna said, I appreciate him. You try to stand over my man while he's laying on the floor. You trying to stand
right.
over him, try to disrespect him, and he's like, yo, fuck out of here, bro. The smallest dude on the court. The smallest dude on the court, and he pushed him to the side like, "Yo, homie, step the fuck back, get the fuck out of here." That's that Brooklyn shit, bro. That's that Brooklyn shit, bro. We not having that, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And
Trust me, I was hyped as hell.
I also appreciate Josh Hart. Like, yo, step back, bro. Chill out. That's another dude right there that on the low key, another bully. So I think we got like two guys low key that'll throw down if need be.
Definitely have to.
Right.
I don't know. I'm waiting
I
for
miss
hostility.
Dante. I miss Dante because the story with him and Josh and how he picked up the weight and swung at that Josh, that's hilarious to me. That's some real thug shit right there, boys.
That's like a roid,
Yo,
race, bro. Seriously.
yo, that's hilarious.
All right, we'll get over to the final topic of the night, the All-Star break. So this closes out the first half officially of the New York Knicks season. 35-20. That is the record that the Knicks have. They're currently half a game behind the Boston Celtics for top of the division. They're in third place in the Eastern Conference. What are you guys expecting to see? Because Steve keeps on mentioning it. First game back is that Thursday against the Detroit Pistons.
That's a playoff game to me.
It definitely is to me.
We have to. We better treat it like a playoff game.
We have to win. I think that's a must-win game, definitely.
So looking ahead, the first 5 games out of the schedule, you're at home against Detroit. On Saturday on ABC, we're hosting the Houston Rockets. Then we're on Sunday. For the following night, we're heading into Chicago to take on the Bulls. And then Tuesday night at Cleveland to Friday night at Milwaukee. Before that closes out the month of February before we return home and take on the Spurs at Wemby comes to the Garden. So, Steve, how many out of those games I just said?
You said, well, I gotta go. I want to start with Detroit, and then I want to go from there. I want Detroit. I don't care about these other teams at this point. I want Detroit. I want fucking Detroit at this point, man. Is Anunoby going to be back by then? Who's going to be available?
I would hope.
He should be back. He should be back by then.
I think he should be back.
He should be back. He should be. But there's apparently this toenail issue is very painful. I don't know.
Is that what it is? A toenail?
So apparently, from that, I can't confirm any of this, but apparently, like his big toenail kind of like cracked off, and it's like painful as fuck.
Yeah, it's not like it.
And it's like it's impeding on something around the bone as well. From what I've heard, I can't. I'm not in the training staff. I don't have any insider knowledge.
You can't confirm it.
Second, third hand knowledge.
Yeah,
it's just freaking like. Apparently, like okay. I mean, if the shit gets infected, then that's a whole different story. But Mrs. Knicks, you heard the opponents: Detroit, Houston, Chicago, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and San Antonio. And Milwaukee. Out of the next 5, what's doable for you?
We winning them all. We winning them all. I mean, I feel like the Knicks have to beat Detroit. We need to see a win against them. Um, so I take us when we winning them all. Um, I'm comfortable going into the second half. The second half of the season is when we usually pick it up anyway. um, we've already heard, guys saying they staying home, as in New York for All-Star break, to work with the team. So that's great to hear. And that shows the commitment to team. Um, so I'm pretty confident going into second half of the season.
Jeff?
To be honest with you, I think we're capable of winning all of them, but it just depends on what Knicks defense is showing up. I think that's what it is, especially against Detroit, man. If we have one of those, if we play anywhere near like those last two games, we're gonna get packed up again. We really gotta play against teams like Detroit, Houston, and the Cavs. Our defense has to show up big time for us to win those games. Because if not, we just gonna lose 3 out of 5. To be honest, because those are the three hardest teams I think we're facing. Right? It's Detroit, Houston,
Cleveland.
the Cavs, the Bulls, and what was that 15?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. I think the Bulls and Bucks are teams that we should beat, especially the Bulls. The Bulls got rid of everybody, so we should beat the Bulls. That's a team we should beat. The Bucks, they just added Cam Thomas, but Cam Thomas doesn't play any defense. So, that's another team I think we should beat. And I don't think Giannis is playing right now.
No,
I think he's out
he's not.
still. So
I don't think he's playing ever again this season.
all right, so yeah, those are two teams. Those are two teams right there. We should pack up. You know what I mean? But those other three teams are the ones that I'm checking on the list. So I to be honest with you, I'm still not too sure, bro. I'm not too sure about this 5 game because with their lack of defense, these past couple months is hard to tell, man. Which team we're gonna get?
So I think that obviously the Detroit game is huge. That Houston game to me is huge because those are two teams that kind of play a very similar style. So I mean, I would love the victory, but at this point, just respectable performances would be suffice to me. But we definitely got to walk away. We got to pack up Chicago. We got to pack up Cleveland. We got to pack up Milwaukee. I think that those three teams are basically mailing it in. And Cleveland, I still don't believe in them. I haven't believed in them since. And I refuse to. So 3-2 is 3-2 would be good. 4-1 would be better. 5-0 is ideal. So that's
5-0. Five. If we go 5-0, we just gonna have to clip what Anna said and just be like, "Yo, clip it and put it like, yeah, we gonna win them all."
Right. Well, but before we head out, does everybody in the chat? Thank you so very much for showing out and keeping the energy. I just want to shout out everybody and ask this very question: who's watching the All-Star game? I'm not.
I'm not watching that shit.
I'm watching what our team is involved in, and that's it.
So Cat and Brunson and Allen Houston thing, and then whenever USA plays the world, I'm still not understanding this stupid concept.
No, me neither.
For the All-Star break, the All-Star game.
What are they doing now? I have no idea. What are they doing now? I literally have no idea. What are they doing?
So they have a Team USA Stars, a Team USA Stripes, and a Team World. They're gonna do like a mini round robin kind of deal, and then the best two teams will play in the final game. So it'll be a total of what, 5 games, something like that, 5 or 6 games.
Oh shit!
But
Obviously, I'm good.
can we just go back to a regular East versus West format, please?
Right, right. Like,
Commissioner
what
Bobblehead,
happened to
please.
that, man? Like, come on, man. What happened to that, bro? That's
Unfortunately, it's a two problem with that. The number one problem back then when the East and the West used to bang out, the players like Ewing was a Knick for 10 years, Bird was a Celtic for 10, 12 years, Jordan. People stay with their team, so you knew who was on the East, you know who was on the West. Now everybody is just back and forth between conferences. There's no real hatred for each other like it was back then. And then number two, the money. The players today make too much money. They don't want to risk injury. They're not going to play defense to compete. So that's just the way it is.
and the thing is like, yo, oh, go ahead, Ab. My bad, my bad.
Well, no, the thing is like, okay, so I mean, we're not expecting for it to be like a barn burner game, but can you at least make it somewhat entertaining and somewhat competitive?
Right.
They're not going to. We ask this question every year. They're not going to do it, man. They make too much money. They want to risk injury, and they're not. They don't compete. They don't compete.
To be honest with you, what I think they should do though, when it comes to like the dunk contests and stuff like that, I think they should have the fans vote in who competes for that. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like force the players to do that, man. Like, I want to see fucking Ja Morant in the dunk contest, or Zion Williamson, or LeBron James, that we've never seen him do anything. Like, they should start, whatever happened to those times when we used with Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins and all that, bro. That was fun to watch.
I remember when winning the slam dunk competition used to be an actual accolade that people, like talk shit about. And the fact that, that I couldn't even tell you like who the reigning slam dunk champion is. Or I couldn't even tell you any of the last 5 because I haven't given 2 shits and I have not seen a single performance that is worthwhile. I understand that there is creativity that goes into it, and once you've seen all the dunks, it's kind of hard to come create a new one. However, this is supposedly the newer generation. This new generation is supposed to be so much more innovative than the previous, and so far, I have yet to see that they can. And this is again kind of where I never liked him when he was an active player, and I'm talking about Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. But I respected him because he at least competed in it in a couple. I respected guys like Dominique. I respected, of course, Michael Jordan. I respected guys who actually took All-Star Weekend a little bit more seriously and understood the assignment that this is for the fans. It's not just for you. And it goes back to the sentiment that that Dom has said, Steve, and you've heard him say it. Commissioner Bobblehead essentially had to bribe these multimillionaires to start playing games and make them count or make them matter more so people will watch it. And I'm talking about the NBA Sippy Cup. And if they added that incentive to the slam dunk, to the 3-point shooting, to the 2-ball, to this, to that, and to the All-Star game, make it an accolade that you get if you make the All-Star team and compete in any of these competitions, and then you help donate to and raise awareness for charity or local community projects or things of that sort, then I think you would get more viewers. But until you make these players actually care, it's never going to happen. And it's sad. It's very sad. Because the NBA All-Star Weekend used to be a fun thing because it usually happened right after the Super Bowl. So once you get off that high, you go into the NBA All-Star Weekend. That would be another great performance because the halftime show would also be freaking insane. Remember that one year, I think it was either Beyonce or Mariah Carey that actually sang at the halftime show, and they made that into a monumental performance. Now I don't even know who's performing in this shit, and honestly, don't care to know who it is, who are they for, and what they're doing. But I'm pretty sure that if I ask one of my kids and it's like, is K-pop doing doing the halftime show? They'll tell me. Kind of sad. Just saying.
Oh shit.
But that will wrap up Knicks and Ish. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us. Shout out to Steve for joining us and coming off the bench tonight. I appreciate you, my brother.
Coming off the bench, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's always a pleasure, Steve.
Salute.
So, Mrs. Knicks, any final thoughts before we go?
Just keep winning. Right. In Dory from Nemo's voice, just keep winning.
All right. Well, Anna, I do need you to stay a little bit overtime as soon as this is over, because so I want you to please pay attention. But from everyone here at Knicks and Ish, I'm not going to close it as we do it. We're going to close it out straight up like this. What's going on, everybody? Your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Avenue, right in front of where.
Yo, what's good? This is Knicks. Just want to wish you a happy born day.
Big happy birthday shout out to my sis, Mrs. Knicks. Wish you many, many more.
I just wanted to come on here and say to my sis, Mrs. Knicks, I wish you a very happy birthday.
So today I want to wish her a very special, a very blessed and happy birthday to the First Lady of Knicks and Ish.
Blessings. I wish you the very best. I hope you get everything you desire in life.
Definitely appreciate everything you bring to Knicks and Ish. We became family over this time.
For about 13, 14 years, she's been a ride or die with me through ups and downs on the social media tip.
And I'm so grateful that not only did I get to meet you, but I share this Knicks and Ish panel with you. And since meeting you, it's nothing but family vibe.
And I can't wait for us to continue to build and grow together. You've been a blessing to have on the show and a part of the game.
Forward, keep staying strong. You are the best. You are great. Talking basketball with you is amazing.
I really do consider you as my sister. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, deep down, sis, happy birthday. Nothing but love and respect.
To the First Lady of Knicks and Ish, Mrs. Knicks. Happy birthday, Anna. We love you. Go Knicks.